Football fans are crazy. Hey, brothers, fathers, dads, daddies, papas. I thought about how much time a football fan spends thinking or being entertained by football. But before you all think I'm crazy, I want to let everybody know and provide full disclosure that I have nothing against football. My father was a football fanatic, and so was my grandmother and my brother. I respect this sport. Back in high school, I played for like a week, for like 1 week. And it just got me to thinking. I was in a barbershop getting my hair cut. And my barbers, they just engaged in football talk the entire time, which is cool. They were even talking about games that had happened years ago with players that don't even exist in the game. How many hours has these guys have put into this football literacy, American football? How much time has it taken them to get to this point where they're freely able to talk about these discussions and topics within football? I researched how much time is typically dedicated for football fans, an average fan, right? Not even talking about the individuals that do fantasy football on video games or anything like that, but dedicating during a football season, how many hours is dedicated to learning about football through passive learning, which is watching games, going to different channels to get highlights from the game and things like that. For 6 months, football fans, 5 to 8 hours per week when it comes to this football learning literacy. So the average football season we know is typically starts in fall, ends and terminates before the spring. So about 6 months in length. Typical. You got your preseason, then you have regular season, and you have your postseason. And then within those seasons, you also have other things that are going on surrounding football, right? 5 to 8 hours. We'll do 5. 5 hours per week for 6 months. That equals to 130 hours per season. 6 months, roughly, right? Passive learning. During this time, individuals can get a wealth of knowledge from passive learning the game through watching and receiving highlights and having discussions with friends like in the barbershop as to football topics, football games, highlights and things of that nature. But what would happen if one of those fans decided to take that 130 hours and reintroduce it back into their lives? 130 hours of passive learning was to dedicate active learning to learning a new skill, entertainment or venture. What could they accomplish? And so what I had learned or discovered that individuals that take 130 hours from their time, they could learn and be proficient or near proficient in learning a computer system like Python. They could develop the ability to, after spending that 130 hours dedicating it to learning a language, they could be comfortable in learning language to the point where they're able to do basic conversations. 130 hours. If they took that same time, they could dedicate it to being able to be proficient when it comes to working out, gym techniques, right? And then there's other opportunities and other options too as well. Individuals can dedicate that 130 hours when it comes to budgeting and balancing their life, learning psychology about themselves. 130 hours is a lot of hours to dedicate to one thing. And we know that there are a lot of literacies out here that are distracting and can be distracting, but they present themselves as entertainment. Fathers, be careful with where you spend your time, because once that time is spent, you're not going to be able to get it back. Use that time wisely to cultivate a new skill, to better your family, to better yourself, and I promise you, you'll succeed.